Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, March 20th. Well, our long-lasting and significant weather event is now getting underway. Plenty of precipitation already south of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. Rain mixed with sleet in and around the D.C. metro region. This will really become a two-part storm system. The first part will produce mixed precipitation today into tonight, and then the second part will be a stronger storm that'll form off the Virginia Capes and then move northeast off the mid-Atlantic coastline during the day on Wednesday. That will produce snow late tonight and especially during the day on Wednesday. Probably the brunt of the storm in terms of snowfall will be midday and afternoon hours on Wednesday, perhaps even into the early evening hours on Wednesday. Significant snow accumulations likely up and down the I-95 corridor from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City to Boston. I'm thinking on the average of 4 to 8 inches in and around D.C., 8 to 14 inches in and around the Philadelphia and New York City metro regions, perhaps 6 to 12 inches along coastal New Jersey, where there will be 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts tomorrow afternoon. All areas could see some banding of snow, producing heavy snow rates of perhaps 2 or 3 inches per hour during the midday and afternoon on Wednesday. Maybe even some thunder snow mixed in with this what will become a major storm system off the mid-Atlantic coastline. Again, a two-parter. Now, the mixed variety of the precipitation today into tonight will limit any snow accumulation. There may be some slushy accumulations by late today and early tonight. But again, the fact that it will be a mixture during the day today into tonight will limit any snow accumulations. Again, late tonight and tomorrow will be the primary period for the snow, heavy at times. Now let's get into the upper air pattern here from last night's 0Z 12-kilometer version of the NAM model. A few things I want to point out. First of all, this initial wave of low pressure is headed right into the Ohio Valley, producing some heavy snow out in West Virginia, western Maryland, southwestern part of Pennsylvania, and again, a mixed variety of precip already has broken out across the D.C. metro region. Temperatures will go really nowhere today. There is a strong cold high pressure to the north. We've emphasized this over the past several days. This is a key player here. It is our source of cold air over the next 24 to 36 hours or so. And let's move forward here in hourly increments. That initial wave of low pressure into the Ohio Valley will eventually start to weaken and transfer to a developing storm off the Virginia Capes by late tonight, especially on the day on Wednesday. Here by early tonight, notice the upper level feature here starting to take on a negative tilt. This is a key player here as well, a vigorous upper level system here. A negative tilt means the orientation of this upper level trough extends from northwest to southeast, and that promotes very strong upward motion on the southeastern flank of that upper level trough, and that'll be positioned perfectly to set up the development of a storm off the Virginia Capes by late tonight and into the early hours on Wednesday. Let's keep moving forward here, and notice a deep upper level low starting to close itself off. That also is a key feature here. That tends to slow things down at the surface, and indeed this will be a long-lasting event. Significant snow throughout the day tomorrow into tomorrow night. This will be a slow mover. All the confluence up over New England starts to weaken and pull off to the east here, allowing this storm system to ride up to the north and east and allowing New York City to get pounded, and Boston too will get significant snow accumulations out of this I-95 special. Here we are tomorrow afternoon, deep upper level low spinning over the mid-Atlantic region, and just to the northwest of this area it could really be snowing like a bandit later on tomorrow afternoon across eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, into the New York City area, perhaps even down into northern Maryland on the north side of the District of Columbia. Again, just on the northwest side of this 500 millibar upper level feature. Could have snowfall rates tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 3 inches per hour, maybe some thunder snow included. This finally slowly pulls away tomorrow night. The snow winds down tomorrow evening, and it looks like a lot of schools will have off on Wednesday and perhaps even Thursday as well, because the snow does not end until the latter part of the evening in many areas tomorrow night into Thursday morning. Well, before we take a look at the surface maps, again, this is using last night's 0Z 12-kilometer version of the NAM. I want to take a look at 850 millibar temperatures. This plays a key role in the snow to liquid ratio. A lot of snow maps are put out by computer forecast models that utilize a 10-to-1 ratio. It's kind of a typical ratio, but it depends on the temperature structure in the upper part of the atmosphere, such as at 850 millibars, which is about 5,000 feet off the ground. Make no mistake about this. There will be cold air filtering into this system, even though it is the beginning of spring. Spring actually officially begins early this afternoon. This is a cold air mass. Again, a strong cold high to the north will push progressively colder air in the upper part of the atmosphere. And by the time the snow really gets cranking on Wednesday, it will be quite cold in the upper part of the atmosphere. Maybe heavy wet snow for a while, but I wouldn't be surprised if the wetness of that snow actually diminishes during the brunt of the storm in the afternoon hours on Wednesday, because as we'll see in a moment here, colder air really moves in the upper part of the atmosphere. Maybe not a 10-to-1 ratio, but I wouldn't drop it all the way down to 5-to-1 as some are suggesting. Maybe 7 or 8-to-1. And in some areas, 9 or 10-to-1 is probably going to turn out to be a reasonable estimate in terms of the snow to liquid ratio. Here we go. Now, here we have the legend on the right. Anything green is 0 degrees or above Celsius here. And this is during the day today. And indeed, it is fairly warm in the mid part of the atmosphere, the lower part of the atmosphere. That's the reason why we're getting a mixed variety during the next several hours. Could even start as all snow in southeastern Pennsylvania this morning, but then mix in during the afternoon and evening. And here we go by the evening hours. Still relatively warm at 850 millibars. Again, this is a few thousand feet off the ground here. Now, this is getting into the midnight hour. Now, notice here the blues starting to expand to the east here. And this is now by early tomorrow morning. We're below freezing now at 850 millibars in the 0 to -5 degree range here with this lighter shade of blue. And then we go further into the day, and we see some deep blues starting to show up. And this is actually anywhere from 5 below to 10 below at 850 millibars. So again, when the snow is falling real heavy during the midday and afternoon hours tomorrow, it will be quite cold in the upper part of the atmosphere. Again, even though it is spring for much of this storm, this is an Arctic air mass really that will filter into the I-95 corridor during the next 24 hours or so. Well, let's now walk through the surface forecast maps from the last night's 0Z NAM model here. Again, mixed precipitation already into the D.C. metro region, rain and sleet. A little bit to the northwest, it's significant snow in southwestern Pennsylvania, western Maryland, for example. Garrett County, Maryland could end up getting a couple feet of snow out of this whole system. And again, it's a two-parter here. That first batch of precipitation moves into southern Pennsylvania over the next couple of hours, perhaps in the form of snow, but then it'll start to mix with sleet. And here we go, a mixed bag in and around D.C. Temperatures holding steady or perhaps even falling slowly during the next several hours through the 30s in the D.C. metro region, staying in the 30s in southern Pennsylvania. Notice strong, cold, high pressure to the north. Again, a key player. It sends quite chilly air for any time of the year, but especially for the early part of the spring into the I-95 corridor during this event. Here we go by later today. That precipitation starts to head across New Jersey towards the New York City metro region. Still a band of sleet, freezing rain in and around D.C., Philadelphia into the latter part of the day. Again, the mixed variety of precipitation will limit any snowfall accumulations during the day today and even into the early part of tonight. The precipitation could actually change to snow first in the D.C. metro region early tonight. A little bit later than that in Philadelphia, and then late tonight, early tomorrow morning in New York City. And here we go, the beginnings of the second part of this storm, this what will become a strong storm off the mid-Atlantic coastline. Still some mixed precipitation, perhaps snow just west of D.C. by the middle of tonight. That then starts to slowly weaken here. There may even be a lull in between low pressure number 1 and low pressure number 2 during the overnight hours here. But eventually, low pressure starts to form off the Virginia Capes, and it'll intensify rapidly during the morning hours on Wednesday. Here we are early tomorrow morning. Notice all snow by this time in D.C. Still a mixture up across Philly. Could have a mixture into Philly through the latter part of the night, but by early tomorrow morning it should be starting to change to all snow, and certainly tomorrow morning the same thing in New York City, a changeover to all snow. By mid part of the morning, just the mixed variety of precipitation is confined to coastal parts of New Jersey, all snow by mid-morning, late morning in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and again, there can be heavy snow bands, small-scale heavy snow bands setting up during the midday and afternoon on Wednesday, perhaps even some thunder snow. Could have snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. One thing this does is it means it could be a big difference in accumulations from one area underneath a snow band to another area not far away that's not underneath that snow band. By the way, as with any storm in March, elevation will play a critical role in snowfall accumulations. Just a difference of a couple of degrees here will play a critical role in snowfall accumulations. So those higher elevation areas in a given region will tend to have significantly higher snowfall accumulations from this impending major coastal storm. Here we go, walking through. Notice the slow movement of this storm here now into the afternoon on Wednesday. And we saw that kind of a closed low at 500 millibars. That will translate to very slow movement of this surface storm during the day on Wednesday. We're walking through now the Wednesday afternoon hours into finally the early part of the evening starts to wind down. First in D.C., still snowing into the evening in Philadelphia and New York City, and still storm not far away off the mid-Atlantic coastline, snowing throughout New Jersey late tomorrow evening. So again, this is a long-lasting and significant event here. Finally, it starts to wind down completely in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City area by early Thursday morning. So we have a two-parter coming. The first part will be basically a mixed variety of precipitation. Rain, sleet, snow, maybe some freezing rain mixed in there as well during the day today into tonight. It'll start to change over to all snow, first in D.C. early tonight, then in Philadelphia mid to latter part of tonight, then in New York City tomorrow morning. All snow for the bulk of the day on Wednesday in D.C. and Philadelphia, and for the most part, all snow in New York City from mid-morning on during the day on Wednesday. Significant snow accumulations up and down the I-95 corridor. The brunt of the snowstorm will be midday afternoon on Wednesday. Strong winds will contribute to the possibility of power outages, given the fact that the limbs will be wet first with today's mixed precipitation, and then wet snow, heavy wet snow for a while, could cause some power outages up and down the I-95 corridor during the day on Wednesday. And again, they could gust past 50 miles per hour at the coastline of New Jersey, for example, during the day on Wednesday. So that's it for now. Stay tuned to VencoreWeather.com for any updates later today. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.